You don't do that shit, man. Just need some
Well,
help,
Kanye
man.
loves, man.
just in case nobody knows what we're talking about, we're talking about the situation where Kanye made some inflammatory statements about a lot of other artists. The main ones being Jay-Z and Beyonce about their children. I'm not about to repeat that shit, but I do think, man, motherfuckers been tolerating Kanye for long enough, man. This dude been a cartoon character for the better part of 15 years, man, and we look the other way like, oh, he got problems. But when you
Yeah,
say the shit that he said about
yeah.
they kids, I was listening to Doggy Diamonds, and he said that Kanye done crossed over into that point where he need blood in his mouth. It's just certain things you don't do.
It was just unnecessary. It's like
Yeah,
we understand that dude, and they didn't cut you off. Everybody done went their separate ways or
That
whatever.
was a
But you
long
don't,
time ago.
yeah, you don't need that. You shouldn't have to have that kind of language towards anybody's kids, man. Let
right,
alone somebody who was, your partner at one time, and
right.
for you to, go that way, it's completely off-putting, man. It's like he's a certified, as they call them, handkerchief,
Yeah,
meaning,
because he nuts up over his kids, man. You
yeah,
mentioned
yeah,
you could say, hey man, go be giving a motherfucker directions around him. Hey, what you gonna do is you gonna go up 2 blocks, turn right, go north. What you say about my daughter? You know what I'm saying? But you got some shit to say about somebody else's child. That shit, Kanye, man. Look, man, talented as fuck, but talent shouldn't be a reason why you get away with bullshit, man. You
uh-huh.
know, if he was the average motherfucker, somebody would have rewired his fucking jaw for him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
it was just he's trying to reach out, trying to get attention from Jay because Jay didn't like, look, man, I understand, but we gave you a chance. You refused to take your meds. Yeah, we ain't fucking with you. We cool. Do
that
you?
that
You know,
dude trying to sell another album. He was just up there. What last week? He put up
yeah.
some kind of post on Instagram or Twitter. It was a picture of a fucking Ku Klux Klan outfit, uniform, whatever, and he talking about today's outfit.
Let
Like,
him have
come
it.
on, come
Let
on,
him,
man.
yeah, just let him have it, man. Like you
You need to
said, the,
get
the
him.
best response is no response to him. I hope Jay and them continue to freeze him out, and he just deal with the bottom feeders.
They
He's
need to
cool.
get him and Dr. Umar the fuck out the paint. That's what they need to do.
All right,
Yeah,
old
it seems
man.
like he's dealing from untreated syphilis, fucking around with them whores.
Hey,
Wow.
hey,
That
hey,
1817 shit.
You
hey.
see that his girl walking around in the streets, bro. I was like, this dude is all one, bro.
Hey,
But she a
Yeah,
go- but she a fucking goofball though. She a goofball. If that was a mechanic saying, baby, walk around butt naked, you exploited me. But because a motherfucker got a couple dollars and a titanium jaw, you gonna show that titties and everything in front of the world. And her daddy, he a weenie too, cause he was like, "Oh, well, I'm pleading for my daughter to stop this." And come on, man, come on,
hey,
come on. It's shit is just it's old, man.
I'm,
Kanye's antics are old.
I'm over that whole shit. That little tidbit, but old man dropped something about Big U.
Ooh,
That that was
ooh,
bye bye, homie. That's a shit. They hit him with
that's
the
fair
Rico.
time.
Yeah, they hit him with the Rico.
So before we dip into that, let me ask you this question.
What up?
Because you're on the run right now. I think a few of those guys are, but it was a lot of motherfuckers.
Oh
But
yeah.
my question to you is, do you really think that he is going to get fed time? Because what's his name? They always say if the feds on you, then
That's
they
it.
already got what they need. But look at
Yeah.
look at Young Thug.
Yeah, that was something different because that wasn't necessarily fed. They in Georgia, they have like fed cases. The state, yeah,
Okay,
they
my
have like
mistake.
jurisdictions. Like that's how that went or whatever. It wasn't necessarily a fed case. It was a state,
Okay,
and they could use their shit as hit them with a RICO under the
okay,
state law in Georgia. That's how that played out. This one, oh, he's cooked. Big
okay.
U is cooked because he caught a body. So a body, and
Shit,
also he was taking money under the guise of,
the
saying he was
PPP shit.
yeah, that and take, for the at risk youth, whatever, for his
Mhm.
foundation, trying to, gang what's that shit called? where they try to rehabilitate and try to
Mhm.
reform and all that, and they were funding him, and he was doing his death row part two. Well, he wasn't on death row, but you know what I'm saying. He's his own record label because he managed Nip in the beginning, but then
Mhm.
they fell out, towards the end, and yeah, man, he was doing his thing, but he just couldn't stop thugging.
And you
Apparently,
know, people are already trying to correlate the situation.
yeah,
You
always,
know,
yeah,
and but think about it though. That I mean, if you like paid attention to any of that shit, Nip made a diss song about him, or he dissed him in a song.
hmm
And I guess there was one point where he was this was Big U talking. He said, "Yeah, Nip was supposed to get his DP.
yeah,
He
I hate that
represents
goddamn
this,
term.
huh?
yeah,
I
I'm
hate that
I'm
term
I'm
because
saying
every
what
time I hear it, I think it's something fucked up.
that I do too, but I'm just going off of
For a second, my brain froze. So I was like,
yeah. It's discipline, but we know it is us porn aficionados know it is double.
I'm a
You know
global,
what?
so
yeah,
So we'll call it double saturation for
okay.
the audience. But no, he was supposed to get disciplined. Let's just say that.
all right,
And Black Sam wasn't having that shit. Nip
yeah,
brother was like, "No, he ain't going no fucking where." And he was like, you know, I get it. He was like, he was protecting his brother. I do the same for my brother. But he said Black Sam ain't, wasn't a part of this. Nip was though. So it's certain things that he had to do. But his brother was like, yeah, you ain't getting in the fucking car. So, you know, it a lot of shit just seemed childish, man.
you
It,
too
it,
old, man. You
you're too
did what?
fucking
I
old.
think he did
13
13
years.
years. Yeah, he did 13 years already, and you coming out and you still banging? Like they said, he drove from L.A. to Vegas, murked old boy, dropped his ass off on the desert on the 15, and kept it moving back to L.A. and talk about
This
But
telling
you
the
just
homies
can't
don't
let
say
slide.
nothing. A diss song, you big you known worldwide.
yeah.
You know what I'm
So-
saying? God dang, and you worry about what a unknown, local Vegas rapper saying about you in a song. A Vegas rapper? Come on,
right.
man.
But you know
People
what I'm
die
saying?
for their name and then rock with their name by themselves.
Well, think about what Marlo said in The Wire. It was when he said, "My name is my name." When Omar was out there
Yeah.
popping the shit about him, and Snoop and what's my boy's name? What's the other one that was with Snoop all the time?
Oh shit, the dark
Oh,
skinned
Chris
dude.
Partlow.
Chris.
Chris
Chris.
Chris, Chris didn't let him know. And he was like, "Nigga, you out there talking, putting shit on my name, and you ain't tell me. What the fuck you did? My name is my name." I'm like, all right. I'm
Yeah.
happy with my little job, my little 9 to 5.
yeah.
Fuck that. Fuck the tough shit, man. Like, it's a lot, man. They said, man, I think racketeering,
Yeah.
human
Rico.
trafficking,
Yes. Yes.
murder.
All
I
that shit.
mean,
They got him and Brick Baby.
That
All them
Rico,
cats
man,
tied up.
it's hard to get away from that, man.
but
Yeah,
you
I mean
know,
they got him. If it's fed on you, they got you. It's a matter of how much time you doing. They got
Yeah,
you.
exactly.
That's all.
so my thing is for them, they investigate motherfuckers for years.
Yes.
What a lot of the cats don't pay attention to is if you've done a significant amount of time, especially if you are affiliated with anything, you're not fucking free and clear. They always keep an eye on you. You ever watch that joint, Brooklyn's Finest? I want to say it was with it was Don
Don
Cheadle,
Cheadle and what's
Wesley
his name?
Snipes.
West,
Wesley. Yeah.
West. Yeah,
Excellent
West.
movie.
West was a drug dealer. Got out. He thought he was in the clear. They like, nah, we want this motherfucker back in. Well, he ain't done nothing. That's all right. You gonna pin something on him.
Hmm.
You gonna
Just
set
like
him up.
when you said talk about that young thug or whatever, he's not free. He got like what, 20 some years probation?
Man, did you see
Yeah.
along with the other stipulations with
Yeah,
the
he
20
can't.
years?
Yeah, he pretty much in jail, but he's free. He can't be in Atlanta or whatever. He's banned from Atlanta, only on for like funerals or certain stipulations or whatever. But like Unc said, man, he going to prison on the layaway plan.
Right. And
That's all in installments. Like
and they
you can't walk that fine
that shit
line.
is hilarious. And you know what? All that is like, all right, you got away with this, but We gonna make it real easy for you to fuck up so we can put you back in there. And it's like, fam, you too old. You got children. All these motherfuckers got children, and y'all about to go sit down because y'all did some nut shit, and y'all creating the next generation of motherfuckers just like y'all.
It was
And
just so
if it was that bad, you
unnecessary.
could have paid him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
it
could
was
pay someone to do it with that
this.
serious.
Yeah, that body was caught in what, in 2021?
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? Like recent shit. This ain't no 90s or early 2000s. This is a few years ago. This dude catching a body.
Man, look, did y'all see the Wallow interview with Shay Shay, with Shannon Sharp?
Yeah.
And in there he said, man, I realized when I was locked up, this shit is generational. He said, I never bought my mom a house, but this dude is showing me, he said, I never bought Nanny a house, but this dude is showing me where him and his son, you know, bought their wives and moms and shit houses. He said, man, every night, he said, it's 15 people that get to go home and 15 people that don't.
Yeah.
It's and I'm just using that number, but it's like at some point people got to stop feeding that shit. And I can't think which podcast I was looking at, but it was a dude on there. I don't know if he was in the gang or he was an ex-gang member, but the brother was saying, man, like, has this shit gone too far? He said, we got to start looking at each other as black men and not these fucking rags. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's we losing.
Remember
We
that?
don't own no blocks. We don't own shit, and they locking us up. Come on.
Remember that shit I just sent y'all yesterday or a couple days ago about it was that dude was like, what would you do if I took your chain? You see what I'm
I
saying?
loved it.
Oh,
And
boy
he
was
said,
like,
here,
go
it
ahead.
ain't worth your life. Take my chain, homie. It ain't worth your life. It ain't worth me going back to jail. Just
that
take it.
or that's what we need, and it's like,
Yeah.
brother been through something, apparently for him to be like, you know what, you can take the chain, you got the shoes, whatever you want, it's you good, you got it.
Right.
'Cause
If
I
you
don't want
try
to
to
kill you.
violate me, I'm gonna
Yeah.
kill you.
Right.
Right.
But for this chain and all this foolishness, go ahead, man. You can have you're gonna step to him and ask him, what would you do if I, took your chain?
Let me.
Here you
You
go,
guys
fam.
remember that TV show, The Boondocks?
Yeah,
Yes.
yes, sir.
You remember how they used to highlight that stuff, and they made it funny, but they highlighted the idiotic and niggerish that we were acting.
Yes, sir.
They had
Yes,
a
sir.
whole episode about the chain, about the mad brother. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
just mad, so I'm just hit somebody. They had episodes that tapped into that same thing you're talking about, and no one really caught it because it was comical, but it's a problem. It's a major problem. We're told fight for land and property that's not even your own, like you said. You're on a block that's owned by the city that's paying it for you, probably because you're on Section 8 or in housing,
Mhm.
right? You can't get a good, so it's just like a cycle. And then we put it on TV, YouTube, and make it look cool. I'm in Colombia, and people think I'm a rapper just because I'm black.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that, Sully, because no, for real, because I've been saying for a while that black people, blue collar, hard working motherfuckers, because being rich does give you, a little bit of, space. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But the average brother and sister, they caught between a rock and a hard place. We got to deal with not just them folks, but people from other communities, and then we got to deal with those in our group that's fucked up. And worse than that, we all get painted with the same fucking brush. Like, why not look at you and say that man is a doctor? You know what I'm saying? That man could be an engineer. The first fucking thing they think of is a quick 16. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, it's
You a
wild,
thug
man.
until proven otherwise.
Right.
Until you prove
Facts.
yourself worthy to me. Like,
Facts.
I have to, apply for basic human decency just
Mm-hmm.
because of your self, inflicted standards. Yeah, nah,
Right.
I'm cool on that.
So
You
so
know,
now let me ask you this, because I was looking at that. I was listening to a few things about that big U thing.
yeah,
And
yeah,
first of all, I listened to Doggy Diamonds. And the one thing he said, he made a good point, and it was interesting. What he said first was, these guys are going on podcasts
Yes,
and
and
these YouTube shows, and
mhm.
they saying things and they saying things, and then next thing you know, they motherfuckers is getting locked up or they dead. And it's crazy because the article you guys sent, or I looked up another article about it. No Jumper was mentioned in the fucking article.
Yeah. I mean, this is nothing new. That's what they've been, riding Vlad's ass about that shit. Like, dude, I don't know why, but dudes have been getting backdoored and
Right.
they've been getting locked up behind this shit. And
Ab.
they've been asking for footage. Vlad
Yep.
was like, I never gave anybody any attorneys or anybody who's subpoenaed or whatever. I had my attorneys squash that. I never gave any video footage of, our interviews and stuff like that. But it's the dudes that are incriminating themselves constantly, giving up shit.
But he know what he doing. Just like No Jumper know what they doing.
Definitely.
No Jumper sets the stage for a bunch of bullshit because they get opposing gang members on there,
Yeah.
and it's always a fucking squabble up there. It's they always getting into it. He got what the one dude, the pimp. He sharp. He was on soft white underbelly and ended up on No Jumper, and then
Mhm.
it's gang member after fucking gang member after gang member. Now the new cat that was on there, the one we laugh about, the cat about the honey pack off the back. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that double X or triple whatever
Yeah,
dude. Yeah, he's
he grabbed Tiger from Major Payne, was about to smack the shit out this dude because he said something. But I'm like, the motherfucker's nuts. He's crazy. Like, so
yeah.
I'm saying, man, they get on there, they say shit, they act out, they get on Vlad, then they go on other shows and they say crazy shit. This is Sean Dallas where they get on there talking crazy. They be having gang members and shit on there. You know what I mean? And it's just like, I don't know what y'all get out of, y'all gotta be the super toughest motherfucker and all of this, man. But y'all ain't doing nothing no different than what was it? In the movie Gotti, he was being flashy. And they said, yeah, you drawing too much attention. Frank Lucas with the hat on, you drawing too much attention. Y'all
Sam
drawing too much
Rothstein.
attention. Sam
Sam
Rothstein.
Rothstein.
You motherfucker, you was in food and beverage. You should have shaved your black ass in food and beverage. But oh no, you want to have a show, a talk show and shit.
Yeah.
What? I'm just doing this for the casino. The bosses like it. No, motherfucker, you had a job in food. So don't you ever tell me why you brought me to Vic. I do what the fuck I want to do.
Shout out to Joe Pesci.
You know
Yes,
what I'm
sir.
saying?
Thank you.
The legend,
Thank
the
you.
legend, the
Yes,
legend.
sir.
George Carlin said, I don't pray to Jesus. I pray to Joe Pesci. Because at least I know he gonna show up with a bat.
But it's two underlying things right there when we talk about it. Because a lot of times you got brothers that's overcompensating for missing pieces within themselves.
That part.
Yeah.
Right? So, I don't have anything. I don't have nothing. I wake up, the government owns my bed, the government owns this, they own the air I breathe because I'm on probation, they own everything. So only thing I do have is my name.
Right.
So I'm gonna die for it because that's all I got.
Yeah,
As
man.
stupid as it sounds, to them, it's the only empowerment they got for themselves. It's
But
crazy.
you know,
as it sounds.
for real. But my thing is, some of them make a lot of money. Look at the dude. I don't know if y'all know who this cat is. I don't know if he was a motivational speaker, fitness influencer, but he started out on his brother's channel. His name is Wes Watson.
No.
Yeah, dude, and I kind of think it was fucked up because the brother came up there, looking for a fight, but and then he whipped that boy ass so bad. And now they talking about he about to do 5 years in jail.
Well,
You
that's
can't
another
fall
man
for
that
the
was
bait.
overcompensating.
You
Right.
cannot fall
Yeah.
for the bait, man.
He was
Again, remember old boy
overcompensating.
said here, take this chain. Just take it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Cats don't have that walk away mentality. Like, I gotta stand on my square 24/7. No, you don't. Sit down.
Well,
Go
the
sit
problem
down.
is they stand on the square, but the square is fractured,
Yes,
Right.
sir. Yes, sir.
right? So they crumbling.
Yeah. And don't
Yeah.
even know it. It was like, dude, just like you said, the square is in a solid foundation from the jump. So you bound to fall. Shit, man, we done ran over some time. Old man, you want to kick
It's
it?
all good.
He over there
Wanna kick
asleep.
it? Yeah, he like, man, what the motherfuckers
I
talking
still ain't
about,
woke
man?
up, bro.
He like y'all just keep talking.
Go on down there and have that lady tickle you down there, man. Tell her to roll over. You didn't turn the light on. Tell her to roll over, man.
She mad at the motherfucker. You got me in the tent.
What you do? Sneak her in the back gate?
He had it back there.
You got me in a motherfucking tent.
That's right.
She
You
enlisted.
notice we never see his hands. He giving her signals.
I'm holding her hair.
You done busted the
Show it
zipper
that
trying to
man.
get both of us into this sleeping bag.
Asshole.
Motherfucker. Ain't even no heat. I got to crack them little packets and rub my hands on them.
Remember them shits?
That's cold game. That's
Nigga
cold
got Kim
game.
lights in here.
Don't do
Hey.
him like that, man. Don't do him like that, man. Do him like that when he's stateside, man. Don't do him
Say,
like
man, y'all roasted my ass as soon as I got over here, man.
Colors and Kim lights.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Shit, them Kim lights, boy.
It's
Shit.
coming handy, man.
Like a motherfucker.
Woo.
Motherfucker, boy. All right, man. What we got?
He loading this up now. Yes, sir.
Oh shit! I thought we were skipping it. Oh, Virginia high school runner at the center of baton incident charged with assault and battery. Widow sues Las Vegas hotel because her husband was a freak.
Yes, sir.
Talk about overcompensating.
Yeah, that's on Sully. Sully gonna run that one.
Fuck out of here. The brother
Yeah.
got points. The brother got a lot of points.
We already hit him with the Rico.
We already hit on it, but you know.
Yeah, man. Big U.
Yeah, man, we
Club
here,
there,
back,
we
we back, and that's all I'm doing tonight because I'm tired too. No, we got E Dilla, Old Man Ali, Sully O'Keel back with Club Sauce. Shout out to name that motherfucking cocaine. DJ LOH on the ones and twos, tinfoil Drizzy, and yeah, the whole let's fight this motherfucking evil.
He gonna beat you. He gonna beat your ass. Oh, let's go, man. Let's go.
I love Drizzy, man. Shit. Tenfold Drizzy.
That's Drizzy 6,000.
Tenfold Drizzy.
Hey, man. That first one, man. That was you, Sauce. You sent that shit about the little track star, wasn't it? Was that you?
I think I did, man.
Yeah, you had highlighted. I was like, hold on, what the fuck happened? And then I watched the video and was just like, she clocked this shit out of her.
All right, thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Man, it said she had a concussion.
Damn. I think they filing charges. And old girl, I saw the chick who did it talk about, I didn't mean to do that or some goofy shit. I was like, woman, you were losing. You decided to crack her head open.
Okay. All right. There you go.
Yeah, come on.
So, the girl. I'm not gonna say any names. They're children, but
yes.
At a high school track meet, two young girls were running, and the young lady who was in second place found herself being outpaced from behind by the young lady. Her contention is that the young girl was starting to merge into her lane, and so when she was running her baton, she said she was running, she was pumping in the baton, like got caught behind her and rolled up her back. And so when she tried to reset and pump her arms again, she cracked her in the fucking head. And she's like, yeah, you all are going off one angle. You're talking about her being hit in the head, but nobody's thinking about my mentality. And everybody's watching this shit. You know, the internet, it's full of a bunch of sleuths. They got angles, they zooming in on shit. And she clearly cracked this girl in the back of her fucking head. To me, because she was losing. The whoever was number one was already washing her ass, and then this girl just came up from behind and she clocked the shit out of her. I don't know if we got the video, if you guys want to play it or not, but
what's the first rule they tell you when you're in the hole? You know, stop digging. And she went on and tried to give a rebuttal of what actually happened. Like, mama, we watched that in HD, different angles. You cracked her in her head.
Hard.
Yeah.
And the parents, her parents, to me, that's why there's backing your kid up and defending and protecting your child, but there's also instilling a sense of accountability.
That
And the
part.
fact that the parents was up there like, we trained her and letting her say shit like, I'm not a violent person, I'm not a fighter, but you clearly see when they zoom in that she cracked this young lady, and even her facial expression looked like, bitch, you getting in my goddamn way. You know,
And
watch.
if you pumping, your hand ain't
Right.
going.
Look. Wait, come on, Kenny.
These are kids. These are kids. We sorry, but damn, she cracked the shit out of her, man.
And look, the way she tried to keep running, she's like, "Oh, I fucked up." Look,
Yep.
Nah, she realized she hit her too hard. She was like, "Oh,
right.
That's it, Sully.
Ooh.
You're exactly right. Like, oh,
just
That's
give her a
it,
little,
Sonny.
tap tap."
you know what it was? She felt her hand go numb. That's how hard she hit her. You know when you tap something real
Yeah,
hard, that damn thing,
the
your hand go
shockwave go
numb.
down the wrist.
Yeah, she was like, "Oh shit,
Oh,
damn it!"
shit.
That's
Look.
what happened.
And my thing is this: have you ever stepped on a motherfucker's foot or accidentally bumped into somebody? Hey, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. I apologize for that. She did not. Her family, nobody went and checked on that girl. The girl got clocked and was laid the fuck out for a minute.
She didn't even apologize.
Yeah, if you did
No,
that,
she never
At least the dude that
apologized.
killed that girl on the beach, at least he apologized to the family.
yeah, you got to go and run off. Like when you hit somebody that hard, you got to be like, "Oh shit, I see blood. I'm sorry."
Right.
Apologize right then and there. Like I'm gonna
Right.
forfeit this race as well. It's high school. Now you done ruined your whole damn career.
Not say shit like, oh, I did try to apologize on Instagram, but they blocked me.
Right.
Like, you could have got away with, let's just say you did mean it. You could have got away with it by simply saying, oh my God, are you okay? I made a mistake. I didn't mean to do that. Like, it would have went over better, but to sit up there and say, yeah, everybody, I'm getting death threats, and now you got the fucking NAACP up out there, some Negro talking about, oh well, we don't think the police should be involved. Like, how is that any fucking concern of yours? You're not the one that was assaulted. The little girl who was assaulted should be the one to say yay or nay on whether or not the police are involved. Not you motherfuckers. Y'all don't come out for none other time we don't see you
But
motherfuckers.
they're gonna come out because this is trending.
Right.
It's trending.
right.
Like, oh, they NAACP's involved.
Yeah. And you got
Okay,
people.
and y'all ain't gonna get paid off this because the parents is like, look, we want her whatever banned. We want
Yeah.
to file charges, do all the shit. Because think about it, if it was somebody else of a different color.
There you go. There you go. And see, you got she had a little press conference. It was like 20 motherfuckers. And I heard people like, we stand by you. Somebody, and I'm watching my mouth because it's a kid, but somebody said, motherfucker, you was wrong. You hit that
That's
girl
it.
on purpose.
That's
Ain't nobody standing by you. You did that shit on purpose because you was getting washed. You got
That's it.
walked down. It's clear you ain't Sha'Carri Richardson, and you got mad about the shit. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's my take on it. What you got, Sully?
Switch to basketball because I think your
I mean,
track
I'd
is
have been
over.
like, I was emotional, trained to do best I can, and
Right.
the spirit of the sport got the best of me. And I
There you
just
go.
so sorry. And
This
I
was-
hope you forgive me, and I'm gonna forfeit my
Yes.
season
Yep.
and try to be a better person and do better next year.
Yep.
This was Nancy Kerrigan all over again.
Oh my God. Here we go. Damn.
Remember she hit the bitch in the ankle?
It wasn't her, it was her people. It was her people came in and were like, wait.
Yeah,
watched
that's
the
a documentary about
Yeah, it was her people. You don't remember old girl? Why? Yeah, that shit.
Hey,
Now I
it
see
is
old
a
girl
documentary.
on World's Dumbest. She's one of those commentators on World's Dumbest, man. I watch her ass every weekend. Shit's hilarious. But
The one that got hit.
no, the one who got accused of setting the whole thing up. It was her dude or somebody. The chick, not Nancy Kerrigan, but what the fuck is her that chick's name? The one who took her spot after she got hit or whatever. But yeah.
Yeah, I can't even think. She was just in the news
Is,
because she was one of
Tanya
the
Harding?
trainers for
Tanya Harding.
Yeah, Tanya Harding. Yeah.
She's the one that got hit, right?
Because she was one of the trainers for one of those kids that got fucked up in that plane. You know, those planes that went down a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Because there's a documentary about that. Is it on Netflix? Where'd you see
Yeah,
it?
it's called Poor Sport or Poor Loser, and it just goes over like different events, sporting events where people did some foul stuff. Like
Well, they need to add her little black ass. They need to make a part 2 about her little black ass because she
Oh,
cracked the
I'm
hell
sure.
up.
I'm sure they're working on a movie on Tubi about this. And she ended up getting hit with 2 of them. So we'll be looking forward for that for the summertime.
Right.
Tubi.
That little girl can't go to school, bro. I'm like, yeah, you got busted in the head, girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know they clowning her. Oh, man.
Yeah, I mean, both of them famous now.
Both of them get clowned because somebody, but you dirty little bitch. I'd have whooped your ass if that was my sister, bitch.
Yeah.
Be some big fat bitch. I'd have whooped your
Listen,
motherfucking
everybody in the
ass.
locker room right now in track and field
very
is like, you better not run this thing. You better not win. You know you're going to get knocked out.
Baby BB.
Hey, I'm fat, so don't nobody get mad. I'm working on it though, for real. But fat girls always defend the cute girls. Hey, you should.
Man, what's up with that?
You ain't have to hit her like that, bitch.
Why you out of breath?
You just stood up. Why you sweating? Yeah, that part.
Hey, did y'all see the real quick while we talking about fat bitch? Did y'all see the the video of the lawyer? He was looking at Dank DeMoss. And he was like,
"Oh, that rapper who tried to sue Uber or whatever because it was like you ain't getting in my car."
Yeah, and the lawyer was like, "Yeah, this is not. They can't sue for discrimination. Being fat is not a protected class. No, if he didn't let her in because she was black, that's one thing. But my." And he was like lightweight roasting her too, like, oh my.
Yeah, he was like, you should have called Uber XL. Yeah, it was like, dude, you can't get in my car. Like, no, like
I did the same shit.
You should have called Uber XL.
Oh my God.
I'd have did the same shit. I love my little HRV, bitch. No.
Yeah, like nah.
I'd have kept driving.
Fuck up my struts. Hell no, we are not hitting switches. No. Like I'll sit here and wait, let you get some of this AC while your XL get here. But yeah, I'm not fucking letting you in my shit.
She got in the back of something and they had to put the front seat all the fucking way up to the windshield.
Yeah, when you that big, when you got to get in a particular way.
Yeah.
Like you got to hit the door at an angle. And shimmy your way into a fucking vehicle. You too damn fucking big. You need to come in through the hatch.
You ever see My 600-Pound Life when them big motherfuckers got to drive all the way from motherfucking Indiana to Houston, and they do it. They put their big asses in the back of a minivan and the bitch be back there. We need to stop again. My knees, I'm hurting. And I'm hungry. Like, you gotta pick one struggle.
And they got so much to complain about. You have to carry this lady. I was like, yo, you got so much to complain about.
I saw the other night one of those 600-pound lifers or whatever. She was walking in a hotel or whatever, and she was like, I can't go no further. And the husband brought that thing where they put the luggage on to bring to your room.
I saw that. Yeah.
And pushed her like maybe 4 feet. And was like, here. He was like, I like to die. What did he say? I like to almost die trying to get you up.
Yeah.
His words, not mine.
Hey, the family members be funny as hell.
He had to get her ass up off that because that shit sit low. And she was like, hey, I can't go no further. He was like, hold on, you want to put you on this? He's like, you like to almost kill me or some shit, man. I was like, oh my God.
Hey, there was one time that motherfucker said, can we stop? I'm hungry. Motherfucker said, we just stopped 20 minutes ago. You just ate. How you hungry again? You had 5 burgers. That was a snack.
Oh, man.
This might be my last go-round after I see Dr. Now. This might go. I'm like, oh, man.
There you go. Thinking that damn surgery is going to fix it. The doctor was like, dude, we can't get to your stomach underneath there. We don't have that many physicians on hand to hold all that up while we go in and, deep dive and cut.
And Dr. Now be roasting. Huh?
Trying to make everything special so you can eat one more time.
Right.
See, I'm traumatized,
that's
man, by
diabolical,
people
man.
that 600 and plus because I got stuck under one as a rookie.
Oh
Damn.
Fire
yeah.
truck, yeah, picking one up, man. And the sheet is like, look, once we roll it, you got to get the sheet. You got to fold the sheet just perfect. So when they roll over, you got the sheet. And there's 2 engines, so you got 4 guys plus the ambulance plus the nurse all trying to do this. We can't get through the door, so we go through the window. And she had that big storm window. But the cat was like, "Hey, get your hand on there." So I get my hand in there. We try to lift it up, slip.
I'm sorry, Sully.
You got
The
slime,
smell.
didn't you?
Yeah, the
got
smell
slime.
alone. The smell alone got me.
You
I'm
got
not sure if I was in the row or cheek.
You see the way Sully looking off into the far yonder.
Sully in a row like this, mad at the
I don't
motherfucker.
know. He's like, I don't know where the fuck I went.
And the
to.
thing is, everyone froze when it happened. Everybody realized that I was stuck and where I was stuck, and everyone froze. Like,
Fuck.
what do we do? And she steady talking. They're like, what do we do?
So
The cat was like, just pull it out.
Sully in a row like this, mad at the motherfucker. Hey man, get me the fuck out of here.
Ain't no training for that. Ain't no training for that.
No,
I got belly meat. I got belly meat grease in my dreads.
Because they lay on their back, so you got like the roll up skin on your arm and all the dirt rolled up on your arm and all the wet, and it's just.
They said the motherfuckers be having maggots up in there. Oh, man,
Yes.
my bad.
Man, look, we drifted. We
Wheat
drifted,
pennies
man.
and everything.
Oh,
You said what?
man. Wheat pennies.
Wheat pennies.
You remember them old pennies? They used to have wheat on the back of them.
Those are the Canadian pennies, man.
What are you talking about?
Long lost change.
Oh my God, you laying on the fortune.
Hey, but look, real quick though, what be killing me is Dr. Now be shooting on motherfuckers. He was talking to the dude and he was like, yeah, I can see your wife. She got a little bit of a weight problem herself. Bitch was mad. Looking at him like, I like who I am. He was like, I ain't talking about that. He needs somebody that's going to support him, not bring him the same shit they eating.
Damn.
Man, so, all right, man. That was, oh, man, wheat pennies. Oh, man, let's get it. Look at Sully.
Traumatized, man. We didn't stir up some
man.
shit, man.
You ready to go wash that arm?
I have to roll up after this, man. I can smell it.
Man, oh man,
PTSD is real.
that's some real shit. I bet he won't sleep with covers on tonight. Get
Hell
on.
no. That motherfucker sleep on a mattress. That's it. No pillows, nothing.
Nothing.
Don't touch me.
Oh man, that's
All right,
the
man.
smell.
Yeah, the smell.
Y'all read the whole thing, man, because in my opinion, man, I think the wife got a case.
I
don't.
know. I was starting to feel weird because I was feeling that way as well.
Only reason why I saw it's not because it hooked up with is because the casino already had them on camera. They already been profiled.
Right.
Oh,
Doing their thing inside the fucking casino. So once you get like 86th and banned from the property or whatever, and they know you'll get down, that's when it becomes a fucking liability. So it ain't about that he just died or whatever. It's like they already been on camera. So if she got a good attorney, she can get some bread out of this.
Yeah, I believe so.
I kind of feel like that's. I don't want to be. Let me watch how I word it because I'm not trying to be disrespectful.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of think that's a little bit BS because how did they know that man was gonna go upstairs with that broad? You see what I'm saying? Like,
true.
And again, he's a grown man that makes his own choices. Like, to me, it just looked like she like I got to get something out of this besides embarrassment. You know what I'm saying? You know, he this man went upstairs with a whore, and she left 8 minutes later after they got high off some bad Fenty.
Yeah, you don't think there's like Vegas attorneys that probably contacted the wife and was like, "Here, take my card. I need to holler at you about something because I know somebody who knows somebody who know the execs who want this to go away."
Well, also to that, it is your job to protect your patrons, right?
Yep.
So if you know, especially if you have on-site security, you know, then you profile them and you know exactly who they are, you know,
Yep.
and then you know, okay, this guy's been doing the same MO, been with them, he's been with her for 25 minutes, doing the same routine, he's got cash now, and now he's headed up there, and now like you know the routine, just like here in Colombia, they know the routine, and it's the security job to say, don't go with that thing now, or
Do they
go that way.
Do they do that in the casinos?
Yeah. I mean, they once you on the list, man, it's like if you get banned from a casino that has a chain of casinos, you banned from all of those casinos.
Yeah.
You know, like if you get banned at Harris or whatever, Harris is, you know, owns, you know, former Bally's, now Horseshoe, the Rio, all those are, you know, a chain of casinos, whatever. You get banned from one, you banned from all of them. So
I guess the other part of this is too. This is me if I was like the defendant.
Yeah.
For the hotels, I'd have been like, okay, so what if they decided to? What if they didn't go upstairs? What if they decided to leave the hotel?
Then your hands is washed.
That's different. You're off their property.
But I think but I think the argument, my argument is this motherfucker was going to do what he was going to do regardless.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, he could have took the bitch in the Walgreens bathroom, got his dick sucked and smoked the Fenty and died.
But that's not the case. That's not what on trial. On trial, did the owner of the establishment protect their client with information they had?
That's it. You could go by, you know, the morals, him trying to get his rocks off or whatever, and like you said in the beginning or whatever about dude just, you know, popped off with you know, decided, like, hey man, I'm on vacation, I'm away from the wife, the kids, I'm gonna give me some strange. And he got some strange already. He got some strange fetty. And that was the last piece of strange he got, you know, and they, you know, they robbed him, did all the things, whatever, but they already been on their radar for the casino. Yeah. For doing I want to say smash and grabs or whatever.
But we are in a country where you can sue for hot coffee.
And it's Vegas. It's Vegas, man. They're going to settle. They're going to.
Well, that coffee fucked that old lady up though. But I don't think she should have got shit because who puts hot coffee, huh?
That pussy ain't worth that much. She was 80. Old pussy ain't worth nothing.
See, nothing.
That ain't worth rejuvenating.
She was on her way out anyway. Yeah, she ain't need that money. She's on her way out.
Like putting a new motor in an old car. It's no point sometimes, man. Let that thing go. It's too much rust.
You ain't shit, man.
You don't put no Dayton's on a stage, coach. What's wrong with you?
I tell you, every motherfucker. You know. So listen, I think this is my thing. Did y'all see the documentary about that shit? Then we'll come back. But real quick, did y'all see the coffee documentary?
I didn't know it was a whole documentary. I'm going to definitely watch it.
So it's Busted Sully. There's a whole documentary about this old lady going and getting coffee from McDonald's, and like her family, it was her family speaking because by the time it came out, of course, she was already gone, but. They looked at everything, the car, they looked at the temperature, the coffee, and motherfuckers liked that coffee. At the time, they said McDonald's had some of the best coffee because the shit was so hot. It stayed hot, and that's how people liked it. For some odd reason, she decided to, and the car didn't have cup holders. So this lady who had drank this hot-ass McDonald's coffee before decided to drive with this shit between her legs. And the shit spilled, and it burned her. It gave her like third-degree burns all down to her ankle, cooch to ankle. And you know that was the beginning, they say, of these frivolous lawsuits. There's some things in there to where you like, okay, I could kind of understand it, but again, my thing is we dealing with people's choices. You shouldn't get. I don't feel like you should get paid for a dumbass choice. It ain't like the motherfucking Walmart bus to hit Tracy Morgan. You put hot coffee between your legs, and you decided to go while you was in Vegas upstairs with a whore and smoke fentanyl, bad fentanyl at that. You smoked that bad Fenty, and
yeah,
right.
You still ain't came down from that high.
Exactly.
But again, fam, it's just
I'm
not saying it's right, but I'm just saying Little mama got a case.
Yes,
It's
I
Vegas.
guess.
You understand?
He does
People
have
don't
a case.
understand these rules. Prostitution is legal in Nevada, but not in Clark County. Vegas
That's like
is in Clark County. You know,
that's like
they don't get that shit. But yeah,
that's like the motherfucker that sued. I want to say Fantasia Barrino because she was fucking around with her husband.
because of the law
yeah.
of that state. It's the state law. It's in that state.
That's
why.
crazy.
And she got it. And
That's
she got it.
crazy.
Yeah, you
That
got to know.
Fantasia got some good pussy too.
Oh, Jamie Foxx says so.
Jamie Foxx don't know it, man.
But yeah, it's because of that state, fam. That doesn't happen in every state, but that particular state, somebody got in contact with him, like, hey man, you get paid off this. Like I
Yeah.
said, somebody's doing that with that lady. Like, hey,
I mean, one of the witnesses is the pimp. The pimp is a witness.
The pimp getting 20 though,
Yeah.
which I don't understand how he. But I had to say he probably charging it. They not just charging him with the murder; they charging him with sex trafficking as well.
all
he got
that.
some other-
And that's what's scaring all the pimps now. It ain't just pandering and what the fuck. I can't remember the other charge, but now it's human trafficking.
Yeah. Now it's like,
They hitting them with that. So yeah, man, it's
This
it's
pimp
crazy.
shit need to stop anyway. That shit corny, man.
never stop, man. It's the oldest profession, man.
Yeah, what Fillmore say? Pussy gonna sell when corn and con won't, but still, man, it's.
I mean, I hear
Just
they
lives on.
Just move to the internet, man. It's OnlyFans.
Yeah.
That's all. Just move to the net. Same old shit.
Yeah. Well, hey man, I guess if she can get a buck, get your buck.
Yeah, man. Oh shit! Hold on. Speak before we bounce off that. What's Mr. What's his name? The old black dude that was on that series I sent y'all with his his trans son or whatever. The comedian, the old black dude or whatever. And he was like, what's his name?
That George Wallace one.
George Wallace.
Yes, George Wallace. You know he sued to win and got like $2 million because he tripped. You know when they on the stage. They have a microphone cord and they have it taped. You know the microphone the wires or whatever. He tripped on one of those, man, and tore his Achilles or some shit. 2-point-something mil.
Damn.
Oh yeah.
On stage, they settled 2-point-something mil. I'm just saying, like I said, talk about frivolous lawsuits or whatever. Like, dude, you tripped over it. We had it taped down. You tripped over the motherfucker.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have the proper. You
don't have the little raised thing over it or the sign.
Yeah, they just had it taped while he was performing for like one of those little private corporate shows or whatever. It wasn't nothing big. It wasn't even like his normal show that he had in Vegas, or whatever. It was just a corporate event, and he tripped and tore something in his knee.
Entertainers got insurance on their body parts. Who was it? Tina Turner had her legs insured.
Yeah, but this is a comedian who just tripped. Leaving or coming back on, on stage, whatever, and he got paid, man. The shit was going through trial or whatever for almost a few years, or whatever, but he ended up with a couple $1 million behind this shit, man.
It's crazy. You can't get $2 million, and you can't get brothers that get cancer from M3 being by smoke pits.
Yeah.
They get what, 50,000, and that's taxes. They probably work on 20,000, bro, and you got to do that trips and get $2 million.
Yep.
And mind you, gentlemen, this is just one of those that made the papers. Just think about all the stuff that gets settled.
Yep.
Between attorneys. They don't even go to court. Like, look.
I know the city of Greensboro settled with a guy that sued us for calling him a man when he was just like a female.
Oh.
Hey, look. I'm tired of that shit.
He won.
See? Let it go away. You can't, sign an NDA. Go away.
And they keep it funded just to be able to just go away.
See? And that's what they're gonna do to this lady. We ain't gonna hear about this.
No.
Because
it's already done.
Thank you.
Here's your money, bro.
Exactly. Yep.
I pay a bitch in food stamps. Sue Real E. Dilla, where's your wine?
Right here, mama.
Sue Real. Okay.
So
shout out to my bad. Shout out to Shout out
What up, So? What up, So?
So SE. Oh, okay.
All right, fam. Let's keep this train rolling, man. Now that we got old man up, he up now halfway through the program. His ass done got a pep in his step. He took a honey pack.
Off the back.
That's what it is.
Speaking of honey packs, I know this brother on it for real.
Little
For real.
mud.
Bro, 4 of them. Neo.
Y'all
man.
go ahead, man. Y'all go ahead.
Man, what
Hey,
you
Sully,
got,
you
man?
want to start this off, Sully?
Listen. I got 2. So I'm actually in a poly. Both live in. One goes back and forth from Carousel. But she here for good for a time, a couple months, and it's not for the heart of faint, man. It's and if you in it for just for fame or God or fill some personal void, or if you truly don't love these women, you're gonna drive yourself crazy, bring yourself ragged, and it'll fall apart. Like it's crazy as it sounds. Now I don't know his intention because he's wealthy, so he can pay for his mistakes. But for me, for someone that's at a normal level, you really have to have your communication and your shit together for it to work.
Okay.
Like, it's no playing game. I watched my grandfather live this lifestyle, my uncles and stuff like that. But we, Islamic. So, but in reality, it's harder than it looks, and it's more work than people think.
A lot of fucking, huh?
Wow, that's the only thing you got from all that, man. That's the
Hey,
only thing you got from
See,
that.
this is why we get labeled right here. This is why we get labeled right here. This is why we get labeled right here, man.
Sully,
This
I'm a
is why-
fool.
This is
My
why they
cousin
want-
told you.
This is why they want to say the N-word so bad. Not for the rap songs, because of you, Ninja. Because of you. This is why they want to say the N-word so bad. But
Sully, I used to have a drinking problem. Don't pay me no mind.
I still do.
No, go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
No. And seriously, it is difficult. So living this lifestyle, part of it is me being honest, 100%. So me sitting them down saying, I love you. I met you in this part of my life, this part of my life. But if I'm gonna treat you the way you're supposed to be treated, then I can do that as a man. It's to cover you fully. That means to be under my roof. In order for me to do that, I don't want to let her go, and I don't want to go behind your back, and vice versa. So the only thing I see logical is allow me to love you both.
That's game.
gave her a choice. You gave her a choice.
You a smooth motherfucker, Sully.
You just tell me the truth. What's
You a smooth
happening?
motherfucker. You like Bumpy Johnson, baby.
But I tell him, hey, look, and this is not selfish because I'm afraid that I'm gonna lose you both or one of you. So, and I'm doing this to make sure you guys are getting what you deserve. You both love me, and you both can have it.
That's game, man. God damn. That's that Stephen Clark game.
I think my ears got cavities now. So
I couldn't believe it. And they say yes.
See? Hey man, you'd be surprised what Sugar Free say. You'd be surprised, what they do for you tell them the truth.
Now you gotta be ready. Are you ready?
Yeah.
So real, he did. He said that. He said that shit. You just heard what I heard.
You'd be surprised, man.
No, it's not pimping. I mean,
No,
I got.
That's far from pimping.
It's not pimping. So I mean, for me, I have a opposing view to that, but I'm gonna be a little bit more measured than what I was originally gonna say because I can understand the cultural aspect of it. You said your grandfather, your father, and again, what's understood between two adults, 3 in this case, has nothing to do with outside people. I'm just giving my opinion.
Indeed.
So I get that. For me, I don't know. D-Ray, I don't know if D-Ray is still doing it. I think Floyd Mayweather was doing it for a time. And Neo, and then they mentioned his kids, and it just kind of seemed a little bit like overcompensation for that cat, man, because for years this cat had to deal with the rumors that he was a little pixie stickish, what I mean, a little bit of sugar in his tank. So I mean, who knows? I mean, but I'll just end it there, man, because I don't want to accidentally offend you, brother. I think you're a cool dude, and I'm not usually one to put my opinions, on the back burner, but I can respect what you're saying as far as culture, because everything is. I mean, it's no different than the Mormons. The motherfuckers be having 100 wives and shit out there in Utah.
Look at me, yes sir. Yes,
Yeah, so
the cornerstone.
But what people fail to realize, it has to be organic. So I never intended to, this, I dated girls just single, so
Right.
and it just so happened that I'm like, yo, I don't know if I can stop talking to this one. I don't know if I want this one to be out of my life.
That's
And
real
I feel
shit.
the same. So I wasn't dating at the same time. I met one in a whole different country, dated her, and I met one in a whole different country, and then now I'm like, I'm ready to be honest with myself and everybody around me, and I don't want them to go, and they haven't got a chance
That's
to enjoy
goddamn.
me really being a good man to them because
Motherfucker smooth, man.
So hey, this is what I want to do. Are you open to it or not? And then you give me your guidelines, and you give me yours on your own. We'll communicate together in the group chat, but also we have two different relationships because we're two different, But as a collective, we'll do things together,
Right.
and when we go out, no one has to know what we got going.
There you go.
You listening, old man? I told you could do it, man.
We have an extra bedroom,
yourself.
like someone wants to get
Just
away.
gotta apply yourself.
Have them their time. They got the room to go do that.
I lived with Sully in Curacao.
Yeah, he know the other shorty.
You let him live with you? He was looking at one of them.
Nah, man, my man. I know he got a chick in right now. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly.
You're a bad motherfucker, Sully. You're bad because I'm telling you, man, I can only deal with one. My wife got on me just now for putting too much mayonnaise on my chicken sandwich. I was like, God damn! I wanted leave me alone. She was like, oh, it's too much. Your arteries gonna be clogged. I said, baby, these are my spice. This is my one treat for the week. My spicy chicken sandwiches. Leave me the fuck alone. I couldn't imagine having two women.
See, let's say how crazy it gets wild. You have to decide if you're gonna have a hierarchy or not. See, that's the crazy part. So how you introduce them will determine the path forward. Am I gonna have one that's my main and my heart and my bottom, and she just allow me to have others? Or are you gonna be equal? And if whatever side you pick, you gotta rock with it. I picked the equal. So now I always gotta rock with that. I always got to reassure them both that one's not gonna have to, like, you got to rock with it now.
Right.
Because if you have one first, and he said, well, now you can move it. Now the one that was there first is always gonna say, I was first. I'm the A. And now you're gonna be protecting this one. But then also, there's always gonna be one naturally more submissive. So one of them is gonna take more of the lead.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to know the personalities to know how to. And if you don't, it's gonna blow up in your face, and then you're gonna be the slave in the relationship.
I'm only buying one pair of red bottoms at a time. You know what I'm saying? Because could you imagine you buy?
That's extra mouth to feed. Talk about red bottoms, man. Everybody going to Payless. We getting those kung fu shoes.
There you go.
All kung shoes, man.
That's what we talking, bro. You keep them gainfully employed. Yo, you can't. Yo.
One of them get
one wears them on Thursday, one wears them on Fridays, and they rock paper scissors shoot for Saturday.
We all gonna get those little.
You make sure they got the same shoe size, don't you?
Be sitting there next to each other, trying the motherfuckers on that little itty bitty mirror, like, yeah, these got some stretch. Yep.
You gonna buy her some Fenty, but you gonna give me an outfit from Temu.
Honestly, it wasn't even them that needed to be convinced. It's their mothers, right?
Oh,
they come from traditional Western Christian view of values. That's who you have to convince, the mothers.
Oh, you had to sit down with the parents, Sully. Oh man, we got it.
That's a whole nother show, man. Yeah, we're gonna have to dive deep into
we gotta Sully, you gotta come back, man.
I didn't know that was your get down, and definitely we're gonna do a whole fucking segment.
You that dude, man. You smooth motherfucker. You like Stephen Clark's move, man.
We got females who probably like, hold on, man, this might be my thing. Like, shit, I got a motherfucker who provide for me, cover me, and be like, hey,
it is.
I think So Real was like, look, Sully, are you Nigerian? Look,
no, I'm Kukui, I'm Kenyan.
Oh, so look, she like, I'm trying to get in. You need a third?
East Coast, the Horn of Africa.
Let me tell you something.
Bad side.
I knew a girl that said she listened to Dr. Umar. Yeah. She listened to Dr. fucking Umar talk about that. And he said what you were saying similar. You know, he spent a lot of time in Africa, but he was breaking it down how you did. And she was like, I think I could do that. I said,
See?
yo, you could be one of three? I think so. I mean, if you treat why that motherfucker trying to get donations for the school, bitch. Don't even try it. Get that motherfucker out the paint. You don't take care of his children. So, hey, man. Hey, this cat smooth. God damn.
Yes, sir. We definitely gonna put that on the list.
I wish I was that
we need
smooth.
But just know they both call you the bullshit together.
See,
So everything
that
I
part.
can't deal with that shit.
I can't deal with that either, man. My patience is shit, man.
But they be like, hey, that's not what you said, and that be like, now you can't finesse. You can finesse one, but it's gonna be hard to finesse both. Like, now we both heard it.
Do they get it? Do they both get to like talking shit to you at the same time ever?
Nah, because then one always wants to play. I'm saving him. I'm gonna stroke his ego. Why he just got cussed out. Stroke his ego over here.
That's the one. That's the one.
They playing.
Yeah.
But now every now and then they be like, yeah, bro, you about to be iced out. And nobody talking to you.
See what I'm saying? They get to forming Voltron on your asses, and they start synchronizing their damn cycle and fuck everything up, man. I'm cool. I'm cool with that, man. I
would be a dirty motherfucker because the one that I'd be like, fuck you, I'm going to fuck her tonight. Then that's what I'm going to that room.
Both.
You getting to sleep in a little room. Go ahead.
Get you jacked up.
Yeah.
Listen
I'm
though.
cool on that. I don't have a mental capacity like Sully said in the beginning. If this ain't right, it ain't gonna flow right. I don't have it.
Yeah,
me and my
authentically have that chemical emotion of love for them. It doesn't work.
Yeah. Me and my partner, we had to do a cable installation in Texas, and this
What you say?
A lot of my stories.
You gotta understand every single one of his stories is tied back to.
Now I'm just seeing them
doing
walking in the house.
We definitely about to land this plane. Go ahead, man. Land this fucking plane. Go ahead, man. God. Sully just dropped a bomb on us. And here you go. Hey, man, my time in motherfucking Texas. Go ahead,
Hold on, so I'm just gonna say, when we had a cable install and we walked in the crib, and it was this dude in there, this little pudgy motherfucker. But he had two. He had a dark skinned girl and a light skinned girl living in there. We couldn't understand what the fuck was going on. We just knew that both of them were coming out the same room as him, and then it was kids. All was like 7, 8, 9 of the motherfuckers, and then another woman came over. And so my partner was like, "Hey, OG," what? And he started laughing. When he was in the garage. He had this little ass TV, and he was like, "Yeah, they both my girls. You know what I'm saying? We from New Orleans." And he said, "It's just a thing, man. You know." And he explained it, and I was like, "Well, damn, man, how you put up with that shit?" He said, "I stay here in the garage with this little TV when they get to going at it."
That's what I was telling you. We got a quiet room downstairs.
Cause the light skinned one looked mean to the motherfucker, man.
Yeah,
it was the dark skinned one was beautiful. She was all
take care of
smiling.
kids, and like you said, somebody gonna get the red bottoms, somebody gonna get the gum bottoms.
See, the only way I'd be able to do that is to go to like the Cancer Institute and find 2 bitches with throat cancer that can't talk no more. I wouldn't be able to. But just all that talking.
Yeah.
Just, you only got 2 hands. You can't choke them both at the same time.
Right.
I just tell them, hey, if you think it's better than death.
Sully, my wife is the only woman.
Peace. If it's not peaceful here, then go find it.
Sully, my wife is the only woman I enjoy talking to for any extended period of time.
See,
we laugh, we joke.
Then that's it. That's it. Now you try to do that with 2 other or 3 other females, and it's like I only got so much energy.
People, man. I'm Sully and I'm Akil, right?
See,
so one appeals to Sully and one appeals to Akil.
See, I only got about maybe 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 words per day, man.
That part.
For everybody else, I don't.
Yeah, that part.
But my wife, that's my baby. That's my best friend.
And that's beautiful. That's what's supposed.
Yeah. So you a bad motherfucker, man. Because I'm telling you, I've been with a lot of beautiful women, and I've been with one. I'm telling you, she told me and then we'll move on. This girl told me, she said, yeah, my last boyfriend threw lighter fluid on me. And yeah, I swear to God, in one of the last phone calls we had, she said, yeah. I said, well, how your relationship going? She said, oh, he tried to throw lighter fluid on me. And he didn't set me on fire, but he threw lighter fluid on me. And I was like, yeah, I can see why. And she was like, what did you just say?
Ooh.
And I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, you ain't the easiest motherfucker to deal with. I'm glad he didn't burn you up. But you'll take a nigga there.
Sully, he can only have one because he'd be up under the jail. He can only have one at a time because that right there would get him all the way fucked up. Even the other chick could jump in on.
See,
like,
the thing is, too, you also got to make sure that they're compatible. As crazy as it sounds.
Yeah.
Right.
Damn, fam.
Like,
that's crazy.
Like, like, you know what? She's going to be more of a bigger sister to the other one.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
So you gotta find balance. And it has to be organic, man. And like it's like the stars aligned for me. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Almost perfect for each other for its friendship, and the perfect for both of me.
And shit like that. Exclusive.
All right, old man.
All right, man. What we got? That's what's up, man. We appreciate your openness, man, and for the show, man. That was dope, man. That was dope. It gave me a new little insight into that, man.
Yeah, he could have kept that on the tuck. My man was like, "Nah, look, I got first-hand experience. Check this out."
We can have opinions all day, but what works, some, what works for people. Man, we all got to get through this life. That's the thing.
Yeah,
we got to live our lives the best way possible. I don't agree with certain things, but I always say, man, the shit ain't got nothing to do with me, number one. And I always say we all got to live our lives to the best of our abilities. This is a hard motherfucking run that all of us have. I don't care how much money you got, but the first person you lose that you care about, you're going to see how hard life is. So you got to find some happiness, and I'm glad you got that, my brother. And thank you for sharing with us, man. I appreciate that, bro.
Thanks for hearing it out.
You part of the 3PMD fam now, so
yes, sir.
We're gonna call you Two Dick Sully now. So let's go.
Hey, you gotta get your cardio up.
You go, old man. Where you go, man? Tell him, man.
I can't do it, man. And I'm fat now, bro. When I had muscles, I'd be like,
hey, would you please hit the gas, man? Hit the gas, man, please.
You get it all out of.
Yeah, he tweaking.
I'm good, son. I'm good. I'm good, Cuddy.
He is tweaking. Oh man, there you go. That's for you, family. Get it. What's up? Talk to me, Sauce.
Goddamn right, MAGA nigga. So Trans Army. My one vote. And I hate that they put that black fist in there though. Trans Army Facebook page recruits veterans police officers to join rebellion, stockpile weapons, prepare for what's coming. Listen, man. It's natural when people feel like their rights are being infringed upon. Okay. However, they're openly saying shit like this, and I think the Facebook is doing nothing about it. They said that they haven't violated any rules, yet when you read the shit, they're clearly violating the exact rules that's in the protocol. So they said it's 500,000 of these motherfuckers.
Jesus. See, yeah, man.
That's upset right now, and they talking about an insurrection. But the only thing I can think is, of course, you got 500,000 people talking openly about what they want to do. You don't shut them down. You let them talk so you can keep tabs on them.
I get that.
We could talk all day about, hey, they violating these rules, but do you want these motherfuckers to go silent? Do you want them to go black? Do you want them to go underground? Or would you rather have these motherfuckers in the open so that you can ID every one of them, so that you can record every threat that they've made, see exactly who they're recruiting and who they're pandering to, or they're soliciting to, and then you scoop these motherfuckers up later.
I
It's
definitely
that's
I definitely feel that.
100%
I see that.
correct, right? But they need attention to survive.
Yeah,
If we look at the history of this movement, just not just this movement period, but the trans community movement. If you look at how they move, it was all about publicity. It's been if they don't have eyes on them, it doesn't work.
Would you
yeah.
say sauce about Billy when he met Joe Biden?
Oh,
Yeah.
he just had. Did you see that, Sully?
No.
So I guess this was the last campaign trail. Billy Porter. I don't know why they had this cat up. They could have had any other brother, but you know what they doing. This is why it was my single vote. They had Billy Porter up there in extensions, a fucking dress, and these silver ass heels, and he kisses Joe Biden's hand, and he looks into the camera at the same time. So this breathes life into what you're saying. It's about the attention. You know what I'm saying? Like, can you imagine
Kiss
500,000 buff motherfuckers in wigs running at you with weapons because they upset, storming the
Yeah.
Capitol?
Don't
ready,
know who they are.
ready to get down.
We gonna
All
fuck
them
every
dressed-
one of y'all.
All of them dressed like He-Man.
No.
Really
What
gone.
what did he say?
Booty
He said he's
shorts
gonna.
with feathers.
Did he say he was gonna fuck me up? No, he said he's gonna fuck you.
I'd rather him just shoot.
Felice leading the charge.
I take a 5.6
Oh,
round.
man.
Felice just out there.
Let a body
Wait.
drop. Let a body drop. I got
And,
it.
and to be honest,
Yeah.
you have
The doo-doo shaman.
caliber ranking officers that are trained, right? You have some fighter pilots, you have commissioned officers that made it to that high. So imagine if some of these people were part of that, the opposite we'll have, right?
Well, Sully, think about it. You had, I mean, we know for a fact about a Ranger and I think a Navy SEAL
Yeah.
and I think a Marine as well that
Yeah.
got out, and I think I don't know if they got snipped, but they started taking the hormones. So I mean, look, man, I always say this, man, when it comes to this topic, like I don't agree with none of this shit, but I feel like you got the right to live your life the way you want to. The problem, and for some odd reason they don't understand that, is when y'all are in people's children's faces. When you got kids, when you got parents talking about, oh, my child wants to now be a girl, and nobody is paying attention to the people that detransition who are saying, I made a mistake, or I was a kid who had a lot of issues going on, and the first thing that came to the doctor's mind is you want to be a girl or you want to be a boy.
Yeah,
And
they feel
thank,
better.
yeah, thank God I didn't cut my breast off, or thank God I did. These stories are out there. You know what I mean? So I think while I understand their grievances, I'm like, y'all not seeing what the rest, y'all not understanding how the rest of the country feels. Furthermore, I'm gonna go as far as I'm gonna dig what Chappelle said about the file. I can't help but think that the only reason we're talking about this is because this is something that white men want to do. Because if this was a bunch of black men, they'd all be locked the fuck up.
There you go.
This
There you go.
is the truth. And I, on the same tip, like, don't ask, don't tell. I think it was beautiful. There's like, oh,
It was beautiful.
No. It was beautiful because I didn't ask you what you did in your bedroom, and you didn't
Right.
tell me what you did in your bedroom.
Right.
They needed to know. It doesn't matter, right? I always use the analogy. Firemen, once you put our helmet on or put our gear on, you don't know what I am. All you know is I came in, I pulled you out of the fire.
Sully,
Right.
one of the things when I was in recruiting school they did was like, you go through, your training and you do mock interviews. And then, I had one dude, my homie, he's Puerto Rican, he overdid it. Like he was like, yeah, and they was like, listen, they'll come in there like that. But as long as nobody hits on you, long as they don't say, hey, I'm gay, or you can't ask them. And
Why would
it
you?
And it was beautiful because you know what? That also made them. They had to somewhat control themselves. You
They
see what I'm
couldn't
saying?
force it upon you, right?
Huh?
They couldn't force it upon you.
Oh! You can come on. They.
So yeah,
No, I
and
was just gonna say they. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, brother.
brother, go ahead.
No. I was just gonna say they had to control themselves somewhat. Like we knew on post
Right.
who was who, because these motherfuckers would be walking around the barracks like Bambi, just
Mhm.
fucking prancing like Bambi. Just
Yeah. How we go, man?
They was closing refrigerators with their hips. Yeah, that what they doing all the time. Like, who want another beer?
motherfucking towel up to here.
Childbearing hips, huh? Yeah. Okay.
Everybody else came out the shower and they this motherfucker.
Well,
Up here.
I'll say this one thing, and so what upsets me, I'm only I'm 37, right? And what upsets me is that in the country that's considered supposed to be my own home, I have to fight harder to get equal rights than someone that made a choice to be different. And I was born
Absolutely.
this way. And it's like, wait a minute, these
Yeah.
cats have more rights
Yeah. Yeah, man.
and more protection under the law. If I get paid, we have to fight in a capital case to prove it was motivated by my skin color. But this cat gets yelled at. It's a hate crime.
Sully, you know what I told somebody?
Drafted this stuff to be this way.
Yeah, man.
You know what I told somebody just paying attention. I said it is more taboo to see a black man with a white woman than to see a black man with a white man.
There you go.
It is more normalized to see two fucking men
Yeah.
in public sucking face than to see a black man and a white, even a white man and a white woman. Ain't nobody gonna say nothing because society says that this white man is the apex fucking nutsack, right? But to see a black man and a white woman, everybody looking. You know what I'm saying? People giving looks and stares and shit. You see two dudes, it's like, let me tell you something, man. I was at a comedy show one time. Me and my old lady
In Texas.
in Texas.
Go ahead.
And two motherfuckers sat down at the table. And this motherfucker leaned back and this motherfucker's between this dude's lap. Like your woman leaned back in your arms.
Yeah.
And I said, man, how in the fuck can I switch a table in the middle of the show? I was trying, forgot all about the jokes and everything. Like, I need to switch tables like a motherfucker. I don't care how it sounds. But no, man, hey, I just, I'm telling you, I think I get it. You're chosen because, as you said, this is a lifestyle you chose. Your chosen lifestyle is being infringed upon. It's interesting to see how this is going to turn out, if it turns into anything.
Right.
Because like you said, it's attention.
And
Yeah,
again, like
no,
you
it's
said, Sauce, it's better for them to be out and not be shut down, so you can
Yeah.
actually monitor what's going on. And make no mistake, man. It's anybody who has a following that damn big, over 500,000 strong, and they talking about doing dirty, shit to folks.
Yeah.
They're definitely on the watch list. Somewhere.
Yeah, they on the watch list.
Yeah, they're on the watch list.
And
somewhere.
I'll be honest, they playing with the wrong administration because they think the
that
administration is going to feel
Yeah.
like their rights.
Yep.
Yep.
He's going to be like, oh, you're a terrorist group.
Oh,
Right.
speaking of terrorist groups, you know who he just put on the terrorist watch list? Folks who vandalize Tesla cars.
Right. Yep.
Did you hear
Yeah.
about that shit? Yeah, you get caught fucking blowing up a Tesla Cybertruck or whatever, going to a dealership or any Tesla vehicle at this point right now. Yeah, you on a terrorist watch list.
Yeah, doing that kind of shit is ridiculous. Just don't buy the shit. You're gonna cause more harm than you are, vandalizing his shit. But you're right. Sully is right when he says about attention,
Mhm.
and E. Dilla is right when he said, "Yeah, man, somebody watching him." They
Best
see all the motherfuckers in wigs switching when them big shouldered motherfuckers.
And also not just for that. Also, they vote. We need that demographic as well. So how do we cater to them? How do we give them a little bit just so they could
Well,
swing our
tell
way?
you what, that red part don't give a damn about they vote.
Yeah, they not that big of a percentage, but I think what does make them, it's a lot of powerful motherfuckers that's involved in this shit.
That's it.
That's the part,
Sauce.
not the
That's
vote.
it.
Yeah, it's
That's
not the
it.
vote. It's the power.
It's a lot of
What's
kink. It's a lot
what's
of
that?
kink up in there, man.
Lady G or whatever that motherfucking name is.
Mhm.
You know what I'm talking about,
They,
Cuddy?
Yeah.
they paid Obama. They said, "Hey, once you get in, you got now. Listen, we get you in, and you got to sign this bill.
Yep.
We are getting married.
Yep.
That's all
Right.
we ask."
Yep. We'll get you. We'll get
Michelle,
you.
what
over
should
the
we
hump.
do? We had office, baby.
All right, man. Let's
Ah,
bring this. Let's bring this home, family.
Yeah, let's bring it on because old man sauce, you know.
Old man sauce.
Okay.
Old man sauce. The fuck sauce.
Obs fuck sauce.
Oh, fuck sauce.
Hennessy and Taco Bell.
All right,
Let's
man.
get it.
Let me
You wanna
grab
watch-
this clip.
Okay. Yeah, man. This is something, man. Shit. Me and old man attended the same junior high school or whatever. Catholic school, shall I say?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got a little something about this that resonates with
there.
us a little bit.
I was there 1 year. I hated that shit, man. Oh my god. Them motherfuckers was something else.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, it's a gift and a curse, man. You learn, and at an early age, go for it.
Especially at a young age. Because if we said if the goal of white supremacy is to erode the soul, what do you think's happening to your children when you subjugate them to ostracization and racism at such a young age? They're like formative years they're spent trying to assimilate with racists. Because if you think they ain't being called a nigger at school, you're out of your fucking mind. You subjecting your kids to racism at such a young age when it's not necessary because you think the education is better. And is it a better education, or do they just have better amenities? And how is the education better if the whole educational system is based off of lies and propaganda? What do you expect? A better education? No, you just think that ice is colder. That's what they think. They think the closer you are to white people, the better you are, the more equal you'll be. But how the fuck you gonna be equal to people that deemed you 3/5 of a human? How? How does that work? Explain that math to me. Niggas turned you into a fraction of a person, and you standing in front of them whole, and you remove them completely from blackness. They don't have black neighbors. None of their teachers is black. Oh, you think your child at school causing trouble? No, they're being singled out because these people are fucking racist. You just put them in proximity, and I've heard all these different stories about people like having to being subjected to so much racism. That's going to traumatize your child for the rest of their life. So, for the only way for them to have a good experience is to go along. So they have to remove their dignity. They have to remove their pride because you're severely outnumbered. You can't fight everybody, and the more fights you get into, the more of a problem you are. When you're already seen as a problem to begin with. Now, I understand you're making a little money. You're making a little money, and you want your child to have a better education. It's just more resources. That's really what it is. When you go to the poorer schools, they lack resources. They lack funding. Kids have a rougher at-home life, so they come to school to express whatever frustration they can't express at home. But better? No, it's not better. I mean, this is America. What do you want them in you want them in a nice, clean classroom with a whole bunch of amenities so they could just learn the lies better? So they can learn the propaganda a little better? Because they ain't gonna have no goddamn opinion. And then they grow up and you put them around all these goddamn white people. You remove them from all the blackness, and then you expect them to have black excellence? That ain't how that works. No, it's not better. What you saying is white people are better. In a nutshell, it's not a better education. You just think that being around more white people makes you better, and it'll make your kid better.
All right, Sauce, you had some opinions on this, man. What's up? I told you he touched on that, kids not having it cool at the crib. So they came back, they come to school a little on edge at already. So what's up?
Something something I never liked was a raisin in the sun.
You didn't like that?
No.
Okay.
And you know, I was in when I was in school, we had a African American drama course, and I didn't like a lot of those because I didn't like the way that the men were always portrayed in these stories. But the thing, you with me, Sully?
Oh, I'm
So
with you.
the thing I didn't like, besides because that was one of the main things about a raisin in the sun. Homeboy could not stop fucking up, and then the guy who fucked him over, and then the young lady, the sister daughter who was dating the two dudes. But anyways, what I never understood, which is what he's saying is, patriarch dies, the money that they get, they go to buy this house in this neighborhood, all white neighborhood, and they literally go through fucking hell.
Hmm.
They go through fucking hell to the point where the homeowners association sent somebody and they said, "Hey man, we'll buy you out. We'll even give you more than what the fucking house is worth." I understand the fight, but me, I'd be like, "Give me that fucking money and I'm getting the fuck out of Dodge." Because again, what the brother's saying is true. Why would you subject yourself to a certain type of treatment? And the proof, we can look no further than Sage Steele. She talked about how she went to an all white school and she's mixed, and she said she went through hell. David Goggins, who I have problems with both of them, but David Goggins, when he tells his story, I went to this school and the local clan, the Grand Dragon's son, he sat behind me, so I was called an N word every day. So it's hard to sit up there and say the parents is wrong when all the parents are trying to do is give their child a better education and a better life. But at the same time, it's costing, as the gentleman just said, it's costing these kids their dignity. It's costing them their pride. They are being demeaned.
It was,
I,
look, man, when
Go
I
ahead.
went, it was more of a status thing to say, we go to the same school as so and so kids, and not knowing what the hell they paying for. My mom and them didn't go to no fucking PTA meetings. All they knew was that tuition was due every fucking month
Mhm.
or whatever, and I went on the base plan. Like I went to the school, but I wasn't eligible. She couldn't afford me to, ride the bus. I had
Right,
to, rock the Reeboks. You know what I'm
right.
saying? That's how I got to school or the Werder. But yeah, man, it was one of those type. It was you learn what I learned at an early age was privilege to certain folks or whatever, and the hierarchy. Like people, legacy, like names, last names ring bells in certain
Mhm.
sections. And it's like, God dang, for real, she get to do that.
Let me ask you a question, Ed. Let me ask
That's
you a
tough.
question, big bro. What side of town did you grow up on?
South and North.
Okay. Was it a status thing, or do you think your mom was actually trying, like, legitimately? I'm saying legitimately thought she was trying to give you a better education, because we all know them fucking schools, whether it was South at the time, whether
Hmm.
it was East, whether it was
Hmm.
Rand, whether it was Wilson, all the motherfuckers were some hard schools at one point. I
Hmm.
know East because I grew up on the East side. East for fucking show.
Yeah, it was status. It was
Okay,
status. They didn't have a fucking clue. Didn't have a clue what the fuck was going. Didn't know about diocese and shit like that. Like what the money is going towards too.
so
All
you
that
say
shit get kicked up to who
so
over
you
at
saying so you saying it's one of them, we live in a white neighborhood type situations.
that part.
See,
Not we live in proximity to that, and so kids go there. It was just following. It was just following the trend. Like if I'm paying money for my kid to go to school, I could say this. But the thing is, it was crazy. I went to a Catholic school, whatever, but I grew up in public housing. You know what I'm saying? So it
yeah,
was crazy trying to figure that shit out. You know what I'm saying? All my peers or whatever getting picked up by their big brothers or in sobs. Audis, Mercedes
Yeah.
Benz, BMWs, all that shit. And I got, these motherfucking Pumas.
Yeah.
That's what I got, and it was crazy seeing that whole dynamic. And I'm going to people's houses. I never I witnessed going to somebody's house. They had a fucking elevator in their
Yeah.
fucking house. And I'm
Indoor
going back.
swimming pools.
Yeah, and I'm going to a fucking public housing.
Yeah.
I'm having my white peer's mom drop me off at the top of my street because I'm afraid of what my homie's gonna do because there was nothing I could do. They look like food, and my guys, they were fucking wolves, So it was that dynamic trying to balance that shit. You're hearing about somebody getting they chain snatched, but then you see your homeboy with a brand new chain. It don't take a scientist to figure that shit out. What the fuck happened? You know what happened. What do you do? Trying to straddle those worlds at a young age with no guidance. It's crazy, man.
See, one of the things that my father knew that I didn't recognize at the time was because like Ed said, we both went to the same junior high. Just being in the same room with some of the most powerful families that operate. I went to school with one of the Pharaohs and went to school with one of the motherfuckers that owned the 49ers. So it's like
The Bartlow.
yeah, to be in the situation where you could interact with these people is powerful because at no other time in my life have I been in a situation where I was in the same room with these folks. You know what I mean? So it was a missed opportunity, but also it was like being invited to a party. It was like being in a party that you weren't invited to.
Yep, that's
so
it.
it was strange.
Right there.
It was strange. Like you knew you weren't supposed to be there.
It's like
And
somebody
everybody's
snuck you in
looking
the
at you
back
like
door.
you're not supposed to be there.
Exactly.
Like how'd you get in here?
How the fuck
And-
you get in here? Yep.
And I think that shit, that's kind of like the night when we all went to what's man over in Camel. What's told me the fucked up car
Oh, Kevin.
when we went up there and he was like, yeah, come to this party, and we went in there and it was all these Greek motherfuckers and we went in there and they was staring at us and we was like, yeah, this we ain't supposed to be here. They ain't tripping, but we ain't supposed to be here. So I mean, I get everything you're saying. I don't I you know I understand what he's saying because it's not even a situation where it just has to be children being subjected to this. I mean, we as grown people have been in situations, whether it's a job or somewhere else, where we've been that one in a room, and you can feel, you know what I'm saying, the atmosphere in the room was a little different for you
That's
than everybody else.
that's why he focused on at an early age because he
Right.
know that's coming, especially if you in certain fields. Or,
Right.
Yeah, I'm the only one who look like me in my department today.
Right.
So I come in the room and it's like, hey, Ed's here. Hey, Ed.
Right.
That shit. So I get it. I see what he was. I get his point to the fullest, and I was like, damn, I remember those. He stirred up some shit that I didn't even realize what was going on, and the fact that our parents didn't even give us the heads up. We didn't get to talk. Because we was going to these schools, there was no need to have that talk or whatever. It was like just act accordingly or whatever until you get that ninja wake up call.
But
and all of us got it.
I think that's the thing for me, man. I think my mom always kind of gave me certain talks, like when you go somewhere, listen, be quiet, pay attention to your surroundings, listen for a time. But I'm saying, I think that a lot of our parents had the best of intentions, whether it was for, where they were trying to get you to rub shoulders with the right people. And I just think that they didn't necessarily understand what was going on behind those doors. But what they did understand was the other side of the coin of what we was going to have to deal with at our schools. Those kids that's coming from bad homes, that's dealing with shit and they bringing it to school. Those kids that's fucking with you because you might shine a little. You the smart one, and so you got to dim your light a little bit because look at this smart motherfucker. He think he's smarter than everybody.
But
It's gladiator school because you got to squab with motherfuckers all the time. You know what I'm saying?
But on the flip of that, man, that's the dude who lived across the hall from me. You know, these are my neighbors. You know, that's my cousin and them. She didn't want me
Yeah.
going to school with my cousin. The knuckleheads or whatever. But again, you dividing us. Thinking well, I just put him over here. He'll be just fine. It was like nah, because as soon as I get out of that school or whatever, I'm taking off that fucking uniform and I'm going out and I'm hanging out with the kids you don't want me to be around.
Oh, absolutely.
Because that's who I relate to. I don't relate to the motherfuckers I just spent 8 hours with. I relate
Right.
to the motherfuckers who I want to come home. We're gonna watch Rap City together. We're gonna go outside and play football. We're gonna do all that shit. Them kids don't live in my neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
So
Go ahead,
that's
Sully.
what I'm saying. What's up, Sully?
So I can speak from my point of from my experience, and I'm gonna touch on a little bit what you said. You learn something because you was in the battle,
Yeah.
where people don't learn until too late.
Yeah.
So you're able to recognize, right, how they move because you've seen it at an early age,
True.
right? So you've seen the true character that's deep in them. So you already know subconsciously how to make moves.
Right.
And you still didn't lose your culture because you still was with it because you was next door to it. So you was able to watch, I hate to say this, but watch the enemy. They're not even enemy. They're afraid of us. That's why they treat us this way. Okay.
Yeah.
Hitler's the only one that openly said, I'm afraid of the Afro. Because they know, he said, what other people can go through what they went through and still be this strong.
Right.
So he even knew, the main man even knew how powerful we were. So when I went to an all-white school, which was in Cooley, Davie County, North Carolina, which is a Dragons down there. One of them, I had membership applications put in my locker at the fire station. Okay. And you know what I did? I went back and I printed out some old West Coast applications for the Black Panther Party, and I posted them everywhere. And Chief walked in and said, you're gonna fit in just fine, right? And what he's saying is, you know who you are, you know who you're dealing with, and you know how to defend it, right? Without acting crazy. So being in these situations when I was young, when I walked in as a prime state wrestler, two-time state wrestler, I walk in and shake the coach's hand my senior year, the new school I'm going to, all-white school. He looks at me, and she's going back to work.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
My thing is,
so you have to understand that being put in those situations helps us as a whole, because then you can educate the next one.
We learn. I definitely feel exactly what you're talking about, fam. But we learn at an early age, the difference between somebody laughing at you and somebody laughing with you.
Mm-hmm.
You learn that with them. You're like, oh, that, because it hit you. It hit you in your soul. You realize what they were talking about was like, hey man, they're making fun of your ass. And then like you said, you go back and you educate your people. But my whole thing about the parents part is they never gave you the heads up. They never warned you about that. It's like, I understand you got to go through it, but god dang, I wish somebody would have like, turn my head this way and be like, look, this is how they gonna play and this is what you're gonna do. That learning on the fly at that young age, hey man, that shit traumatizing.
Yeah, I had an uncle that sat me down and was like, listen, your aunts, they all went to white school universities. They're brainwashed. He's like, I love my wife and dad. I was brainwashed. He said, you gonna go in this school, you ain't at RJ Reynolds no more. You ain't in Southside Winston. He said, listen, don't go in there and punch these boys in the mouth because you're upset.
See that?
That's
what I'm talking about.
He said, they ain't your friend. He said, you go in there and learn their information. He said, when you come back, we debrief and I'll go over with you. And that's how it kind of was. I was kind of coached.
Exactly.
It. So I get what you're saying. I was coached.
I was raised in a single mother household or whatever, and I got none of that. And I had to come home and I had to try to figure that shit out. Like, is that my friend? Or was they just fucking with me? Were they laughing with me or were they laughing at me? All that shit you got to figure out on your own when you go through that, when you don't have a buffer. So,
see, my situation was a little different. I grew up on the east side, went to school on the east side except for high school. But see, by the time I actually got to high school, because I went to Cheney, because I was like, motherfucking East was a gladiator motherfucking school at the time. And even though I had friends and all that, so I was like, man, I want to do something a little different. And At one time, Cheney was a white school, but by the time I got there, South had closed. So all they students was going to Cheney, and then it ended up later on East students went there. But my point is this, man. My mom was giving me the game. I was fortunate for that because my mother would have these talks. I mean, I had that mom that was like, "Yeah, Roots come on. This the fourth year where you finna sit down and we're gonna watch all that shit, including Roots, the Next Generations, and all that shit. Queen, we watched all that shit. And my experience to where I really started, where my eyes was open is like, my mom. I was a Boy Scout at one time. And we was the one little black troop. We was the most ragtag group of motherfuckers. Some people had the pants, some people had the shoes.
Sure,
You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker had his shirt and a little tassel, but he had on some regular pants and sneakers. All I had was the hat at one time and a necktie, so I put that shit on. You know what I mean? And mom sent us to we all went to, I think it was called Camp Standby. And I remember we was out there, we was all fucking around playing one day, and all we heard was ninja. Y'all know what I'm saying? Ninja across this little creek. And it was the whole little white troop. And we was like, oh, well, we finna show y'all what this is. But you learn, you have things like that happen, and it's like Sully said, you learn how to maneuver with that shit. You know what I'm saying? And it does to your point now, Eddie, it does suck for a black child, you know what I'm saying, to walk into that situation and you ain't giving the heads up. It's the equivalent of, man, I'm a Hulk Hogan fan. That's this motherfucker. I'm a real American and all that shit. Do you hear him on audio? Like, yeah, my daughter, I don't want her dating no ninjas.
Yeah.
No ninjas. You know what I'm saying?
Right there.
And then you like, damn, well, how many more of my fucking heroes feel like this about me? You know what I'm saying?
Now imagine trying to process that as a child.
Right. No, I got you.
That was the whole point. It was like, I understand that because back then parents thought if I paid money for my kids to go to school, they safe.
Yeah.
Not knowing the mental shit. Like I never heard racial slurs until I went there.
Yeah.
And like not just for black folks, Jews, Italians. I was like, what is that? What you call them?
Yeah.
A Fago?
Right.
Oh shit! What is that? Come
purple.
on, man. This shit was crazy to me. Like I just landed on fucking Mars, and I'm by myself, mind you.
Yeah.
I'm an only child, single mother household or whatever. So it ain't like I come home talk to a brother or sister and be like, "Hey man, so and so said this today. You know what that mean? None of that. So again, it was just you was shell shocked a little bit.
I'm gonna say,
go ahead.
No, you gotta go ahead, bro.
No, I moved from Springfield, Massachusetts. My mom put me on a Peter Pan bus overnight. And I woke up, I was seeing cornfields for the first time in my life. As a senior. Never knew cotton really felt like cotton.
Yeah.
Oof. So I moved from concrete jungle to the south, right?
To the country, yeah.
Right. And I had an RTC instructor one time. I never even looked at it. I never around Puerto Ricans, Jamaicans, Africans. So when it's kind of cute. So we hanging. She invites me to the bull hall. What bull hall is? So I'm talking to the. Hey, I might go to the bull. He goes, "Where you going, boy?" He pulls me back in the office. Close the door. Where you going?
See?
To the boy. And he's a white. He goes, "I like you, boy, and I want nothing to happen to you. Don't go out there." And he was trying to save me because what he was saying is, "You're gonna be the end event for the fun."
Yes.
Because they go and say they take the trucks and they party and that. But going to that school, I realized, they don't pay me. They want to be me. Everything about them want to be me.
Yeah.
I was like, they hate me because we fed them. They were built off our breast milk. So the more I started being around them and this artist being around and this everything just sitting there being quiet, relaxed. This is just a big case of hater. This racism thing is just a big case of them hating because they want to be us and they're afraid of us.
Yeah,
so it's changing our mindset towards these people.
But that's just it. Some of us get that and some of us don't.
Right.
Some of us think that, that's my buddy, we down by law, that's my man, 50 grand. That's not the case. You sat back and we all turned into furniture when we get around them. And we start watching them like, oh, I don't like the way they move. Yeah,
Yeah.
they move real
Way
funky.
different.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
move. Yeah, but some of us sit back and they eat that in like, oh, I need to be embraced by them. And I think that's what the homeboy was talking about. Like, you think by putting them in proximity to these folks, they're going to be able to assimilate a little bit better. Not the case. I say
There,
it's 50-50. I don't even
there's
say
there
it's
there
nothing,
there
in between.
yeah, there's a movie. I'll end on this one. The dude that played is Saint the guy that played is fucking Snowfall, Damon Idris.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a movie. It's about the guy's life who played Edibisi. It's called Farming, and there's a term, I guess, where these African kids are sent to live with these white kids while their parents like go to school or work or something. Well, either way, he was thrust into this environment, no heads up, and it's already something going on wild with the mom, but he ends up becoming this fucking skinhead and running with these skinheads over in the UK
Mm-hmm.
and hating who the fuck he is. And
Mm-hmm.
I guess there's an awakening at the end. I was kind of like, yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna watch this shit,
Because
but
we went to school with dudes who were in that situation. It was like,
yeah,
why are you posing?
yeah,
That ain't how you fucking talk.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Yo, people from Haiti, you don't talk like that. Stop
Yeah.
it. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
crazy.
You know what I mean? It's like, come on, man. And that's
Oh,
what it
man,
was.
you know what you're thinking about.
It's a culture shock. Like when you go to a school and there's maybe 5-10 folks who look like you, and then half of them act like them
yeah.
to the fullest.
That's the
Like,
part that drew me nuts.
see what I'm
I
saying?
couldn't wrap my head around that part. I was like, hey, bro, are we in the same story?
Exactly. I'm coming from
Yeah.
the south side. The south side. I lived on fucking Dellison and Evergreen or whatever. So I'm right there by South. Moved over there to the fucking north side, and I'm dealing with these folks who are acting like, they were posers to me. It was
Yeah.
like, are you serious? Like, you really like Bruce Springsteen? You listen to it? Shut the fuck up, man. Stop it. You better put on some PE. I know you like PE. What are you talking about? Gym class? Fuck out of here, man. The fuck out of here. It was one of those mind-blowing things, man. Just trying to figure out who's who, the lay of the land. And it's hard when you're a child trying to navigate that because you don't have the mindset nor the vocabulary to deal
The
with
worst
it.
thing is when I had them come over or I go over their house and watch movies, they didn't know any.
See? No reference.
And I was like, yo, I can't even
No
talk to you.
references.
I can't even side joke that you should only know and nobody else should know, but I can't make it because
Yeah. Like I said, I think I got invited to so much stuff, but I couldn't relate to them outside of school. They had one time they said, "Oh, okay, we're going up to Buffalo. We're going on a skiing trip." I'm like, skiing? The only thing we do is sled ride in Mill Creek Park. I ain't got no fucking ski clothes. What the fuck am I talking about?
That's for sure, nigga.
You see what I'm saying?
Mill Creek.
Yeah, we going down the big fucking slopes down to Mill Creek Park. These motherfuckers going to Buffalo to go skiing.
Yep.
They was like, well, and the teacher asked, she put me to the side and was like, well, if your family can't afford it, you could stay here during that time or whatever. And it was just like, and I had to find the words and be like, miss, it ain't about the money. I don't want to fucking go skiing. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't about that. We had the money at the time. If I wanted to go, I could have went. But shit, I never went skiing, and I'm not gonna go the first time with y'all motherfuckers.
But see, I guess I had certain experiences with even though I didn't go to a production. For instance, I remember this shit. Like I went to Mary Haddo Elementary School, black fucking neighborhood, black kids, white one here and there. And I remember this vividly, man. I walked into the LD class. And I was like, damn, these motherfuckers is chilling in this bitch. They taking naps. These niggas is coloring all the time and shit. And occasionally they go sell erasers and pencil sharpeners and shit. I want to be in here. So the teacher, like, oh, you want to be in this class. All you got to do is go home and talk to your mom and she can sign the paperwork for you. Shit. You ain't
Say
said
less.
nothing but
She's
say
like,
less.
Say less.
Say less. Hey, mom, look. This is class. These motherfuckers, they get to take naps. These motherfuckers is coloring all the time. They sell erasers and shit here and there. She said, all I got to do is talk to you. What class is this? It's the LD class. Yo, dumbass, you don't see what this bitch trying to do to you? I'm in elementary school. The bitch trying to set you up. Pretty much what she was saying. The bitch setting you up, dumbass. That's for slow kids. You ain't fucking slow. What teacher was this?
Right.
Remember
your
it like
mom raw
yesterday.
with it.
And
Yeah.
that's the shit. That's
See?
the trick bag they put you in.
Exactly. That's
You
what
know
I'm
what I'm
talking about.
saying?
As a kid, like you said,
As a
Mariana,
kid, they do that.
was elementary school. So you like, I don't go against authority or whatever. They told me this all I got to do to get in that fun class, but they didn't break it
Yeah.
down. Like this shit go on your fucking record. Like this motherfucker started here, and then when they place your ass in junior high and high school, you're gonna be in them slow classes. You're gonna
Motherfuckers,
be with the helmets and all that
right?
shit.
These
The
motherfuckers,
short bus. Yeah.
these
Looking at it
motherfuckers,
now, man.
they ain't
And-
doing no work. They drooling a little bit. That motherfucker
Mhm.
over there, he looking at his own eye. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
And
You know what I'm saying?
something I had 2 hard lessons. My mom's. So the school I was at was going on a Jamaican trip to feed the hungry, build houses, and they wanted. And I didn't have a passport, none of that. In the school, the classmates put the money together for my flight, for the whole trip, money for the passport. Brought the application and was like, "Bring it home to your mom," and they gave a note. My mom said, "I'm coming to your school tomorrow."
Mm-hmm.
And she said, "Why the hell does he need to go all the way to Jamaica?" Because my mom's side is family Jamaica. Go all the way to Jamaica, and there's hungry people right here. She said, "We hungry. How about you give
Damn.
us the money for the flight so we can pay the light bill instead?" You know how
Damn.
embarrassed I was? Oh my God. It's like, everyone looking at me, I'm like, she's like, "He needs some shoes. He don't need a passport. He needs some shoes." I was just like,
Mhm.
oh. But you know
Yeah.
what? I understood it now.
Yeah.
Then
Now.
I was heartbroken. But
Yes, sir.
and then fast
Yeah.
forward to going to state championship, my stepfather was like, "Yo, you're not going. We don't have the funds. You're not going." Da 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 da. Coach, wrestling coach. I got your tickets, everything. He already paid for everything. Then came over to my parents' house unannounced, knocked on the door, and was like, "Yeah, I'm taking him. He's gonna ride with me, and we're gonna give him a scholarship." And
Disrespect.
my father said, "Oh, so you're gonna get us? You're gonna make money off my son's back."
Yep. See?
Yep.
Always
That's-
opportunity. Now I'm thinking, damn, I can go to Appalachian State. It's gonna be recruiters there.
Yep.
Now I gotta go find another way to go to school. So I was angry for years about it. But when I thought about it, wait a minute, they weren't my friends. They were I provided a benefit. And they wanted that benefit. So that's when I started to think, okay, they don't want us to struggle just because we're struggling. They're teaching us a lesson because they're not really our friends. But and that helped
There
me
you
later
go.
on being a soldier, that helped me be a firefighter, especially in contracting. When I got to Saudi Arabia, they thought I was white because I was from Massachusetts. My last name was Sullivan. They assumed they was picking up an Irish firefighter, like always. You should see the look on their face when they pick your brother up. They were like,
Sully, how many times did that happen? You come into a room and they like
multiple
oh,
times. They was like, "Who is
Wow.
Ellison?" Because when I was been in contracts, I'm a consultant, so I write contracts. They were
Yeah.
like, "Who is Ellison Consulting?" They just won 4 of the 5 contracts, and I'm like, "That'd be me."
And now you had to
Ninja.
learn. You had to learn how to gauge that whole fucking feeling. Like,
Yep,
walking
I
around,
learned
do
that
you-
in school.
yeah,
Yep.
do you overreact or do you underreact? It's
The
a
motherfucker-
fine line you got to walk when you dealing with that shit. Like I said, I go
Especially
in
down
there,
south, they'll blow
and
you up.
motherfuckers like, hey, Ed's here. Hey, Ed, good morning, Ed. How you doing, Ed? I was like, motherfucker, I speak when spoken to. Salute, what up? You know, and keep it
Yeah.
pushing. You know, no need to, let me get my radio, my keys. I'm out. Y'all continue on with your little meeting. Do your thing.
I've been at job interviews and can tell they thought a blonde haired white girl was finna walk in the room when they heard Aubrey White.
White.
Oh, Aubrey, get her in here.
Exactly.
What up, Nick?
Exactly.
Look, I had a job damn near offered to me to be an instructor for one of these fire departments outside the city I was working for. He was like, "I heard about you, but everything's great." I show up, I'm looking for the chief. He told me to come. He's nah, he doesn't have anything on schedule. I said, "Yes, I'm Sully." Now, Sully, most people think, "Oh, it's this white dude, it's firefighter Sully." Nah, Nah, I'm dark as they come, brother.
Yeah.
I got Timbs on, got mud on them. I'm brother, hey, through
It's
and
a
through.
it's a great feeling, and it's also somewhat of a depleting feeling as well, because you know what it is. You know what's
Right.
coming. Once they
Yeah.
do that, oh, hold on a second. Let me make a phone call.
Right.
You know, and then it's like, hey man, this ain't what we want. You know,
Right.
we'll be in touch. You know how many times that shit fucking happened. You know how that go. But again, I get what my man's point was about exposing kids at a young age, especially in the day of this digital age. You know, we didn't have the internet and all that shit back then when that shit was going on. We didn't have no resources to bounce ideas off of. Whatever we had, whoever was the homies around the way. Hey man, this
Right.
ever happened to you? We actually had to talk to a motherfucker. Now you just pull out your phone and ask Siri, what the fuck to do. But I get what my man is saying about
I
these kids
react to
now. So
racism.
yeah. You get a whole chat GPT shit on that, man. Like, oh, this is
Yeah.
what you do.
Turn your head
Back
and walk
then,
away. Turn
like,
the
yeah.
other cheek.
Yes, sir, man. Yes, sir. Oh man, what you got, man?
I got nothing else, man.
Okay.
All
I got
right.
nothing else.
What's your
Family?
wine of the week?
From Trader Jose's, man. Y'all better go on ahead and pick y'all up some of this rare red. Shit
Yes, sir.
is nutritious and delicious. And gone.
California.
Yes, sir. All right,
All right.
family. Thank you again for another great one. Sully, we got to do
Sully.
another one, man. We
Appreciate
got to do
you
another
guys.
one, man.
Yes, sir.
I seen the topic.
man.
I was like, oh man.
We keep them coming, man. We keep them coming.
All right.
All right, family.
All right,
I
y'all.
appreciate
For
y'all,
real,
man.
man.
Peace.
All right. Love y'all.
Love
Love
you
you
too,
too,
man.
fam.